talking lower league. From muddy boots to magic, the stories that you need. So grab your brew, tune in and join the ride. The Lower Leagues Podcast, football from the inside. Football from the inside.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the Lower Leagues Podcast with me, Alan, Dan and Max. Good evening, lads. How are you doing?
We're all good, mate. All good. You?
All good, yeah, all good, all good. How was your weekend? How's the weekend football? Dan, we'll start with you. How was your weekend football?
Good, mate. Quarter-final win, 5-1 at Marsh. Played a lot of old boys because most of the other lads were cup-tied. But, mate, it was great. Scored a couple. What was good? Yeah, routine weekend. Went 1-0 down. Got a little bit nervous. It was like, oh, fucking... I mean, we have a history of losing at Marsh in cup games. But no, got through it. Quite comfortable. Went back to the club, had a beer. First team did the same in their quarter-final as well. So now it was a good atmosphere, to be fair. And we avoided the Stukes in the semi-final. So happy fucking days. So we'll save the pasting until the final if we get there. Fucking Max just rolling out first teamers.
I don't even need to do that, mate. Don't worry about it.
Max, you had a good win. You had a good win this week.
For us. Obviously, good to get back to winning ways after last week. Played Twyford. Yeah, won 8-2. So yeah, it's pretty routine. To be fair, they weren't bad for the first half hour. I mean, I say that they were camped an hour and a half and they were just trying to stay in the game, but they were doing that quite effectively. We got one, and then stupidly they had a player sent off for saying something he just shouldn't have said.
What did he say, Max?
I won't repeat it on here because it's not an acceptable phrase to be using in any walk of life, shall we say?
And you call me woke.
We've had emails from the FA today as well asking us to make statements and whatever. So not because we want to, like that isn't the case, but yeah, it's just a stupid thing.
I guess
he's not the first person to have done it at that club. So
yeah,
I feel really bad. I don't know the bloke's name who runs it, but he was saying, "Oh, we've literally just gone through this as a club." Da, 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 da. And it was like, why has he said it again? So I do feel sorry for them, but also it's just stupidity. But yes, they went out.
Just make sure, just so we're clear, it wasn't for because it sort of alluded down a channel of what he said. It weren't racist, was it? It was just
no, it's homophobic.
It was a homophobic comment. Yeah, sometimes people would go out. I don't want to start being racist.
No.
Not like that at all. But
still,
just a stupid. I found it quite funny personally what he said.
Yeah.
School ground, isn't it? School ground. Shit,
it's silly. But obviously he said it. I heard it straight away, and bang, that was it. He went.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, you say it's funny and it's like school playground sort of antics, but needless to say, it's not something that needs to be said.
Dan, I'll be asking you to
know
edit that audio now. He said that anyway.
No. What I know is when I get called a fat bald prick on a Saturday, why is that not a straight red? That hurts my feelings.
Well, it should be.
Yeah, but the truth hurts, doesn't it, Dan? So
yeah, facts are facts, aren't they?
Facts are facts.
Accusations, there's no proof behind it.
Max, I'm assuming that the fact the FA have got in contact with you is because of the referee's report. Then
I'm assuming so. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, suppose I completely forgotten about it, and then that email popped through this morning, and we're kind of. I think we're sort of when we don't need to make any statements. It's just a stupid thing to say. It's not offended or affected any of our lads. So yeah, we'll.
I don't know what I'd say if someone said that to me. I don't know how I'd react. I'd be a bit like, "Sorry, what? What is it? 1980."
I know it's a bit of a weird thing to say as well. It's obviously because he's given away a foul, and one of our lads has gone down after he's fouled him, and he's used that slur. So
yeah, don't you think that that lad's been sent off? It's going to cost him what, 50 quid these days for a red? He's going to get a 3-game ban.
Probably he'll get a 10-game ban. 10 games.
Well, That's ridiculous. But I mean, like the fact that your lad, it was your lad he said it to.
Yeah.
It said that he wasn't offended, then surely everyone should just be like, okay, he's got a ban, he's got a fine, move on. But if it's his second time of doing it, then I suppose, you know.
I think it's the club's second time. Someone else from the club has already said it.
Oh, okay.
The exact same word that's been used twice. And they've had to sit all of their players down and basically say to them, like, come on, like, and then Matey Boy's done it after half an hour against us. And also, he's just killed his team. Like, at 1-0, they might be able to stay in the game, but you go down to 10 men, you know, they after that,
it kind
of game over,
ain't
wasn't it?
coming back, is it?
Well, no, not really.
No. And I suppose you'd like to think there was an instant regret on his part afterwards as well.
Whether there was or not, I've got no idea. So
Max has called me worse. Put it that way.
But yeah.
Anyway,
that was probably the highlight of the game, to be honest, because the game was like so one-sided after that. But 8-2 win, 1. On we go. Open Cup this weekend, semi-final.
Do they still have the big netting behind the bottom goal?
Yeah. But that
netting is not
actually high enough.
What is it?
Remember Twyford? We went there. That was my first season. We went there and they just got it all installed.
Yeah, it's a lovely ground, isn't it? They look after
really nice setup. Really nice setup. Pitch is good. They've got like lovely box nets, and it's a great setup. But they're struggling. I think they'll go down personally now.
Yeah,
he hasn't remembered, so that's fine. Let's move on.
Twice, maybe I've missed it. I'm just trying to think. Like they've got a great setup, great pitch. But I never remember them challenging for like major honours, which is a shame for a club and a setup like that. The first time we
went there, I stole a penalty off you. I was like, I want it, because I wanted to score in a box goal, and I absolutely cannoned it over the netting. Like literally launched it. But I was trying to go glamorous top corner.
You got to think about box goals, though, don't you?
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, he was pinging enough in the warm-up, so I mean, surely like whipping pens off me. But I've always been shit at penalties anyway, so no problem.
Right, look, that voice. To everyone that's watching us on YouTube, that as you can see, we've got a guest on. It's Dan Scott, who I think we believe is the North Bucks' highest ever goal scorer.
In one season.
Nah.
In one season.
In one season.
Yeah, but
I have asked the league this.
Div 2. So we're not talking like Prem. Div 1. I think there was 4 divisions at the time, and it was the bottom division. But yeah, one good season. I don't know whether it is all time or not. I don't know.
I asked the league. They've said definitely in the 2000s, nothing's got anywhere near that. They've said they believe there was a guy. And I think what they're saying is it would be in like the 60s or 70s. Scored 61 goals in a season, and the only reason they said we don't have any record of it, but apparently the chap passed away, and his wife emailed the league to go, is this still the highest amount of goals anyone's ever scored? Yeah, I think it was. She said, like maybe doing a misjustice, maybe 80s or 90s, but sort of the way the league message read was.
Well, shall we say he's the highest league goal scorer in one season in living memory?
Yeah, it's a bit
sounding more dramatic the more we go on about it.
But Dan, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. And we're looking forward to hearing certainly some stories, because you know Dan Mclaren for a long time, and I guess it's your fault that he is that everyone in the North Bucks League has to put up with him, and including us, me and Max.
I do feel partly responsible. Yeah. Yeah. This was. Dan, tell me, what year was it that you started playing with us?
06, 07, around that. I think.
06, 07. But obviously, we knew each other from young through golf. So basically, we grew up playing golf together, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we knew each other through golf, and then we ended up actually going to college together because we were in the same profession.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we used to have away days on a Wednesday, didn't we, to college? But it was the Stantonbury six-a-side, wasn't it? So I never really knew that you played football. You a couple of years below me?
Yeah.
So we never really crossed paths in age group football, or I didn't really know or knew that you played. And then we was in the Stantonbury 6-a-side league. Can't remember what night it was. And you were playing. You played against us, but you also played with another lad who I knew, Marcus.
Ah, yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember Marcus?
Yeah.
So obviously I knew Marcus quite well, and then obviously I didn't realise you were playing with Marcus, and then I think it just stemmed from there, didn't it? It was like, I think both of you came down, didn't you? You and Marcus, and that was it. Like straight away, and we've never really separated since.
No.
Obviously, we've had a few years here and there for different reasons, but near enough every year we've been in and around each other through football. So, yeah, a long time, should we say?
So as far as Dan's told us that you got him into what was it, at around sort of 16, 17. What was a young 17-year-old Dan Mclaren like back then in those days playing football?
Well,
I know
if I could show you pictures, you would never believe me. You could probably get 3 of the old Dan McLarens into this one, that's for sure. So he was just a typical youngster, like, you know, like gangly, thin, really thin, skinny, quite tall, like wanted to look the bollocks with his sock tape and his boots, and you know what I mean, just like the sort of person I would just smash through on a Saturday normally. But you know, give him his due. He turned up. He took his hits. You know, he fitted in really well. Got to know the lads, and you know, quickly established himself as, you know, our centre forward, or along. Was it me and you?
Yeah,
it started on the wing.
Yeah, it was you and Aaron up top, weren't it? Aaron,
that's it.
Aaron,
and then
yeah.
And then
Dan was a little winger. Dan was a little winger, was he?
He was, yeah. Do you know what? It was so long ago now. That's how I feel. That's how old I feel. I struggle to remember some of these early days. I really, really do. So yeah, he sent me a picture today of us 18 years ago.
Yeah, something like, yeah.
In a team photo, and these guys, I don't think they'd pick either of us out, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he sent us the same one in the red kit.
Yeah, the red kit, and
I had a real good look at that. I couldn't pick Dan out.
Yeah,
I tried.
That's what I mean.
Oh, ain't that bad.
I couldn't do it. I was going to message you actually as well about it. But I don't think I could have picked you out.
No, so he's obviously his physique's changed. The more his role has changed in football. So fair play to him for adapting naturally as well. But yeah, just stuck through, and fair play to him. He gave it a good go, because obviously coming into men's football when you're 16, 17, you know, I'm seeing it now where I'm at currently. The lads, like, you know, gifted players, good players, but as soon as like it goes shoulder to shoulder, or someone puts a challenge in them, you don't hear or see of them for the rest of the game. Which is a shame, but that's just football, isn't it? I mean, you've got to learn somewhere, and
we spoke about this on a few episodes about what football was like back then when you started to compared to now, and you kind of sort of hit on it there a little bit, Dan. But what was it when you were starting out, when you were playing back then? What were the teams like? What were players like? What was the banter like and all that?
For me, it was mainly the physicality. So I remember one of my first ever games. I think I must have been about 16, 11 aside, and we were playing a team called PB MK. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah, a lot of people who listen will remember PB.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of well-known faces, a lot of hard nuts in the team, and I just shit myself walking around the corner, to be honest with you, just looking at them. So, you know, getting on the pitch and trying to compete with them as a 16-year-old, you know, skinny lad was daunting. And, you know, you did take your hits, but, you know, you had that little bit of edge over them. So, you know, you took the good with the bad. So you took your hits, but you also, you know, took your glory moments where you're skinning these old men and feeling great about it. But It was just so physical, but the quicker you adapted to that, the quicker you could, get stuck in games and start to affect games a lot more. And then all of a sudden, you were becoming that player that when you see a young lad, you're like, right, I'm going to take him out the game early. But that's just how it was. I
would say it's not like that now. Like, it's nowhere near as physical as it used to be.
No, definitely not. And I think obviously modern day football, like rightly or wrongly, a lot of teams decide they want to play out from the back now, and all that. So a lot of it, which is fair enough if you can do it. If you've got the players to do it and you're confident, then go for it. But to be fair, a lot of teams try and play football now, and there's you don't really get the people that just want to kick you. I feel like that shift has changed quite a lot from when I was younger to now. But I don't know how to describe it really. I'd just say a lot more physical, and then it's a lot less physical now, but you still do get the teams that might try and rough you up a little bit.
I suppose that junior piece is, you're right, Dan, because when you're coaching now, like I do, my son's 5 and I'm coaching him as well, so seniors, but the things that you're trying to coach a 5-year-old now compared to what we were coached as 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds are just chalk and cheese. Like, you're not like, you weren't taught the fundamentals of football, of taking the ball at back foot, playing with your other, scanning shot, all those sort of things that now you're trying to coach really young kids. Like, I was never coached when playing, and that I think feeds into them why, as senior football has grown, one, you probably get less interest from youngsters, but two, also the fact that they're not mean, they're not nasty, they're all a bit nice, and a lot of them are good technically with their feet and they can get on the ball and play. But as soon as they come up against someone who's bigger and stronger than them, they just fold. I think that's where you lose a lot of them as well, because they do struggle to make that transition from like being sort of 16, 17, 18 to then having to play men's football and having no choice. Like, I think that's the difference compared to when you.
I think it's the environment as well. Like, you think that team Dan's talking about, I was 16, 17. Apart from you, Dan, everyone else was like 28 to 30. Like, there was quite a lot older, and we had some loons in our team. So, like, it's not like nowadays where I look around our team and I go, there's fucking 8 lads under 20.
Yeah.
Like, back then it weren't. And it was basically, if someone kicked lumps out of me, they'd go kick lumps out of my teammates, go kick lumps out of them. And it was just where now it's just not that. Like, it's not that game anymore. Where I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of friends moving around together, isn't it? So you'll get a lot of young lads maybe come up from or go from under 18, stick together and go and join a team together. So I did it slightly differently. I went into a team where I didn't know anyone. I mean, I all I knew was the manager. Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, come down." And like you say, it is intimidating walking into a changing room with 15 blokes 25 and over. Like, it is intimidating, but I think that's what makes you who you are when you, as a player. As you get older, you learn to deal with these things, and it makes you a harder player, I think, if you can stick it out. Not everyone can, but football's a bit soft these days. Back in the day, you got your initiations and you had to go through certain things, whereas these days, you get welcomed into the change room. Hi, this is Brian. He's 16. Please don't swear at him. Whereas back in the day, like, you're thrown in there and you just get on with it. But that's just my personal experience anyway.
Yeah. I remember my initiation in Dan's dressing room, Westbury away. Do you even remember it, in the pit? Westbury used to have a shower in the pit.
My memory's not great, so I'm guessing it involves bodily fluids. But
it was basically, and I won't name names, so I'm not saying Dan was or wasn't involved in this, but me and the other young person were thrown in the pit. This is after Dan's broke a goalkeeper's leg, by the way. Keeper's outside under a load of coats. And I'm in the changing rooms with my mate Ryan in the shower, and some of the more senior players are swinging on the rail at us because we're down low, so they're like up here. They could or could not have been urinating at the time. And you're in the fucking pit. And every time you got out, they would someone else would pee on you, so you had to get back in and wash yourself again. And you think in that team again, I won't name names because a lot of them are older now and have got kids, but we had some absolute animals in that team. But again, now, I think back to, I remember walking in the dressing room one day and one of the players is literally on his mobile phone showing all the lads him smashing his missus in the night before. And he's literally, and she's coming to watch the game. So she don't know this is happening. And it's going around the dressing room like, this is what's going on. All this. And it's just at 16, 17, that's quite a lot to embrace when you're...
But I remember we had a game, a couple of lads listening to this probably remember, but we had a game over at Crown Hill. And I think after the game, obviously, we've gone back into the dressing room and one of the lads has just walked into the shower and he's just took a massive shit in the shower from out of nowhere. And it's like, at the time, I'm like, what are you doing? Sort of thing. But that's the sort of stuff that you had to put up with, and it would either make or break you, for sure.
But that's the sort of things that you just don't see now in this day and age.
Let's be honest. There's probably no place for that sort of behaviour anyway. Let's be honest.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
it's a real shame people aren't doing that still.
No. Just leave it to the egg chasers, eh?
Well, look, Dan, let's go through some of the clubs that you played for then, because you, as we said before we start recording, that Dan sort of describes you as a bit of a legend, and rightly so in his view because he's grown up with you. But let's go through some of the clubs that you played for then in the North Bucks.
Yeah, so started as, like I say, 16-year-old, joined E&H. So I'm pretty sure they were called E&H at the time. So I was 16, so that would be 87, 97. That'd be about 2003. Probably 2003, 2004. I think we played there, for a year or two, and then we moved down to the Scots Club in Bletchley. So I think we were sort of ground sharing at the time. And Scots had a team down there, and they applied to go in the South Mids. So they'd done a lot of work to the ground, obviously not the changing rooms, but sort of,
they were a shithole back then.
Yeah, so put stuff around the pitch and sort of got there in the end, and they managed to get a team in. But I think one of the requirements was they had to have a reserve side. So I think they approached E&H and said, look, would you become MK Scots Reserves, which then took us into the South Mids Reserve League. So at the time, I think it was either say yes or you're out, basically. So we went for it. So we ended up sort of playing as like MK Scots Reserves or first team. We did that for a couple of years. Played at some nice grounds, to be fair, but even the reserve sides were playing, we played at Kings Langley, Edgware Town, Hatfield Town, Cockfosters, some Amersham, some nice grounds.
And then they'd come to Bletchley.
Yeah, I know. But that was, that was our home advantage, wasn't it? But I think, I'm trying to rack my brains. I think then we come out of that, and then that's when we went back into the North Bucks. And that's the first season when we started in Div 2. But I think when we came back from the original E&H, I think we lost quite a few because they were getting on, to be fair, some of them. But we also took some of the Scots, MK Scots, would you say, players that were on the fringe of getting in the first team, maybe not playing or couldn't commit, whatever. So we ended up taking a few of them with us and setting up our own team in the North Bucks Div 2. Did well that season, didn't win the league, but we came a close second to Wolverton Town reserves.
got robbed in their dressing rooms.
Yeah. We did we turn them over that day, and then they turned over the changing room. So basically, they probably done better than us. But
I'll never forget it.
We
It
win
was
the
a
cup
day,
though.
Yeah, we beat Hanslope 2-0 in the final.
That's
but that
at
was the
Buckingham
day
Town.
Yes, at the old Buckingham Town. I showed Alan photos of it. So we played them, Alan. It was at the school. We used to be played at the school in Wolverhampton, weren't it? Their pitch.
Yeah, Radcliffe
School, yeah. And
okay, yeah.
we were all paying 95 quid to Scotty for flights to his stag do. So everyone had cash. And we went back to the dressing room. Phones were gone, wallets were gone. One of their players got subbed, come in, unlocked, done everything, the whole lot out of the dressing room. I think the only thing they left was car keys, weren't it? Because I remember people could get home, but that was it, effing gone. So we just beat them. We come out buzzing. And as a 16-year-old on about £30 a day, I just had 100 quid stolen out of my wallet. I was heartbroken. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
It wasn't great, was it? Yeah, so we went up, didn't we? Then we went up into what would be, I think there was 4 divisions at the time.
It was, yeah,
so,
it would have been Div 1.
So we went up into Div 1, and again, I think we made a cup final again.
Yeah.
And we lost to... Kingy. Yeah, so we lost to Woburn Sands Wanderers. I think that was an extra time, wasn't it?
I scored in injury time, didn't I? And then we got battered in extra time.
Yes, I think, didn't we have a man sent off, or...
I can't remember. I remember we scored last minute, went to extra time, and then we lost 4-1. It was the guy. He played in North Bucks for ages. Paul Mundy? Was it Paul Mundy? Monday brothers, wasn't it? Played with Kingy. Kingy was at the back. Kingy was captain, and then and that would have been a young Kingy as well. Say young, would have been a 30-year-old Kingy at the time, I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they were a pretty good side, weren't they? I think they did quite well in the league as well. So we did that season, and then I think
we did half of the next one, then it folded.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So, and I don't know where you went after that, because me.
So I think I sort of went into Sundays. So obviously, Simon Wisson was running Trade to You, I think it was called.
Yes. Yeah.
And then under various other different names over the years, and I ended up playing with Simon for quite a few years, Sunday mornings. So Trade to You, I can't remember what else we were called. Manor-Fields, yeah. So we had a stint. So we played in the Milton Keynes League, and then we had a stint in the Leighton League for a change, which was good. That was good fun. And then I think I stopped playing for a bit.
You did. And then I pulled you out of retirement.
Didn't you, Paul? Didn't we? I come and play a few games here at Woburn.
Yeah, you come play Step 7 at Woburn for a few weeks. That was
a few games, and then I think I went over to Clophill with you.
Yeah, Clophill in the Beds League. Yeah,
in the Beds League, which again was pretty cool. And then eventually came back into MK. And started playing for the Garage. Garage MK.
They are now MK11. Is that who they are now? I want to say.
No, so the team I was with basically folded, don't exist anymore. So I think I had a few seasons with the Garage MK, and then we changed
what
to.
What a fucking name! What a name!
I know, and then changed to Willem Park. For a couple of seasons, playing out of Newport, and then that's when I moved from Milton Keynes to Northampton, and then I was still sort of playing for Willem Park in Milton Keynes. But it was a bit of a trek. And then obviously they folded anyway, so that died a death. So I was living in Northampton, then moved to Rushden, where I am now. Sent a couple of messages out to local clubs, just saying that. Are you interested in a fat old man? Like, I'll do a job. And then 2 clubs got back to me, Stanek and Higham. Higham was first, so that's where I went. Got in touch and then went down for a friendly, and that was it. I haven't sort of looked back really from
You're missing a massive
Oh,
year and a half
sorry.
window.
How dare I?
Beanzanger.
That is embarrassing, isn't it? Sorry.
But, mate, everyone wants to forget about playing for that club, so don't worry about it.
I apologize. Yeah, sorry. I finished Willen. I was in Northampton, and then that's when I came over. It was about a season and a half down, I think, wasn't it?
You did, yeah, because we were rock bottom. This is so. I think I said this story before. Like the team was shit, right? So your first game was Stukely away at Stukely. You played on the left wing. You said you're going to be Mahrez on the wing. we lost 2-1, but no, that was like Shanger was. We were shit, right? And it was like we needed characters in the team. I was like, you need a couple of old boys who are going to come in and just fucking steady the ship. And I got Dan in, and one of our close mates, Scott, and Ryan have sort of got three of them out of retirement to come out and play. And it's funny, you get like, he's really underselling himself. Like another one who I'd say, like we talk about Joe Sames, and I said Joe Sames should have gone on and done better. Dan, for fuck's sake, should have gone and played. Because what was it? I was saying to these guys, Dan, was it after the season? Because we haven't even said the numbers. So that big season at E&H, you scored 58 goals. And then someone high up come in for you, didn't they? Was it Aylesbury? And you literally went and done 2 training sessions and went, no, too serious for me. I fucked off.
Aylesbury United, wasn't it? So it was basically an invite. Obviously, if you see someone scoring that amount of goals, then like a team obviously wants to have a look. And it was just like, I wanted to play with my mates. That's where it was. And I'd be travelling. I'm not saying I would have got in or they would have been interested, but I would have been travelling quite a long way to play, not knowing anyone. Was that for me at the time? Would I have enjoyed that? Probably not. I quite enjoyed my Saturdays with my mates. Happily scoring goals. Why would I want to go and potentially sit on a bench or not even play? So, that was it. Really, there was nothing more to that than that. Like I said, I was quite happy doing what I was doing. So paying me 5 subs, and that was it.
Can I just say though, absolutely zero fucking finesse in any of the 58 goals. There is one way Dan shoots, and it is foot through it as hard as he can.
Every goal. It seemed to work that season, but remember, none of them were penalties either because I couldn't get on them.
Because he was on.
I just can't take penalties, and even playing for Shanger in the semi-final, it's even on video. I took a penalty in the semi-final shootout, and honestly, it was fucking pathetic. So, I like to think I can hit a ball, and I can hit a ball well. And this penalty was like, I don't want to go back to the start of the show, but it was just
I've got it.
One of them.
It was a P-roll.
It was terrible. And then even in the final, the final went to penalties. So obviously I'd missed in the semi-final. Yeah, and we got to the final, and I'm thinking, nah, I ain't having a penalty. I've missed in the semi. I've got no good record of penalties. I do not want one. And it went 5-5, 6-6. Like I think it was 7-7, and I'm thinking, oh shit. Like, there's a lot of people there. This is sudden death here, and I'm thinking, oh my god. And then Paul Lee.
Your number 9 still not stepped forward to take one.
He'd already taken one.
Donkeys step up. He let some donkeys take penalties.
So and then poor old Liam went in front of me, and I think he pulled it wide, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I'm gutted we lost, but inside my arse nearly fell out. If he'd scored, I would have been like, oh my god. So in that respect, it worked out well for me. But
just going on that, Dan, what is it then? Because obviously you're a striker and you're scoring goals like for fun a lot of the time. So what is it about the penalties then that you don't like?
Do you know what? I absolutely have no idea. Maybe I get too nervous over them because I've got too much time to think about it. I've just never ever liked taking them. In training, no problem. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. I'll put them in the corners or whatever. But I think the fear of missing the target. Yeah. I was giving the keeper such an easy save most of the time. Then put my foot through it in case I blasted it over. It's just a mental thing. Just one of them things I've never been able to get over, and I don't think I ever will, to be quite honest with you.
To be honest,
Dan loves a penalty, don't you?
Yeah,
but like,
but he's got a
you
good
say that,
record.
I love them because you can imagine as a young kid, don't get me wrong, I was a gobby kid and I wanted to think I was a lot better than I was. But at 17, 18, when you go in a team, you've got your strikers scored as many goals as he is, but then they're just going, "Oh, let the youngster take the penalties." Like that was quite lucky because we were winning games 5 or 6 all the time. So if I take a penalty and miss it, it don't really fucking matter. So I just got to take them for years at E&H because Dan didn't want them. So they were like, "Yeah, you can have
But to
them."
be fair,
I missed a couple, but
I was going to say, you very rarely missed, did you? So
no.
why change something that works? You know, it could be a game where we need that penalty, and you know, if you've had the practice and that, then you know it'll all be worth it. So, and I think that happened, didn't it? Didn't you slot one in against Wolverhampton in the cup?
Yeah, Wolverhampton in the cup, yeah.
So you know, a pressure pen. I mean, I did win the pen, but at the same with a nice dive. But you know, he slotted it in. So job
So
done.
what I'd say then, Dan, so why is it, so you've scored all those goals early on, because bear in mind now we've got to talk, pretty much from that point you just started going backwards. You
As
went
it, what, as in
midfield position. Because that last season, when we won a cup final against Kingy, Woburn Sands, you played centre half.
yes, I think. I mean, I'm sure other lads who are sort of my age will hopefully back me up on this. But I think the older you get, the further back you tend to get.
Yeah.
You know, I started off as quite a quick forward, and then sort of moved back into sort of central midfield. Bit of a bully, really liked a good tackle. But now, at my age, I like to be at the back, and I like to be able to see the game in front of me. You know, I've got a better chance of reading the game. I've got more time to think about what I'm doing, as opposed to when I'm further forward. So, I think obviously I left Shanger playing in centre midfield. Fair to say.
Yeah. So I think the Shanger, I was looking at earlier, you played up front, left wing, centre midfield, and centre half.
Yeah. So
well, I would say all really good teams have a Dan Scott, in as much as Dan could play any position on the pitch and he would be the best player by a country mile.
no,
When he says loves a tackle, he loved a jumping tackle. There was he come from this that tackle we showed you the video of the Woburn game the other week. That was a Dan tackle. He's coming in high and he's coming in from distance, and then he's just gonna make you shit your pants and then win the ball.
Yeah, but how many times did I get sent off?
Hardly
ever. Not for tackles, anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I just, when I left Shanger, I just thought, do you know what? Like, I'm getting on. I feel comfortable at the back now. I haven't got the legs for centre midfield anymore. I think that was quite evident in my last sort of season with Shanger, especially with all the youngsters running around these days. So I thought I'll go to Hiram and I'll say, look, I'm a centre back. Do what you want with me. Have a look, and that's where I started, and that's where I've played ever since I joined them. Really, I have had a couple of games in midfield to help them out, but only because they were short. Nothing concrete. So, and I, to be honest with you, I enjoy it. I really enjoy playing at the back. I love the aerial challenges. I just love the battles that you have. It's just, I can just see everything in front of me, and I just find it a lot easier.
Find out now you're playing at the back. When you were playing striker before, you getting the battles you were having with centre backs. Maybe a bit of shithousery going on. Did you find that the roles reversing now? Then now you're the centre backs doing it to the strikers.
To be honest with you, I try not to wind players up, because I'm sort of, sometimes you get the gobby ones and you can't help it. Yeah. You just want to, you'll wind them up. But the majority of the time, I just want to focus on my game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so worried about making a mistake that I'm not going to be able to recover, and I'm too busy trying to wipe him out. I'd rather just focus on my... I mean, don't get me wrong, you get it in corners and stuff like that. Or if someone leaves one on you a little bit late, you'll remember it. But I think I've gone past all that, to be honest, which is quite boring. Yeah. But I think, I just, can't afford yellow cards these days, so I don't want unnecessary bookings for stuff like that, because it's gone up in price these days, I believe. So
Before we move on, because I know we're going to come on to ACL, but I've got to tell you a story, Alan. So after that, Dana must have been at home for a year or so, and he got to a cup final. So me and the old guard were like, "Oh, we'll travel over to watch you." I can't remember, where was it played? It was played at a nice ground, wasn't it?
Whitworth's.
Yeah, Wellingborough Whitworth, right? So we turn up, and bear in mind they're the underdogs in this game. So really, they need
It's bottom against top.
Yeah, they need crowd support, right? It's like get behind him, and you've got 6 of us Herberts on the side, literally howling him all game. And then Dan, unfortunately, not his own fault, but like one of those ball whipped in. Dan's gone up to win a header, it's just flicked off him and gone in. We are fucking giving him pelters. Even the opposition fans are like, who needs enemies with you guys? We created memes. We've done all sorts with that video. And you see you bastards in a moment when he needed ball support. We were like clipping that up. Fucking gonna absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, talk about kick a man when he's down. But if in my defence, if you watch the video, if I got nothing on that ball, that tall striker behind me was going to bury it. So I'd rather score than him. Fuck it. At least I've scored in a cup final.
Brilliant.
But trust you guys to be
there. But as Dan said, we'll bring it up to your injury. So you suffered an ACL injury. How long ago was this?
So it was in May last year, playing in the Vets Cup final at Wellingborough Town.
What happened? How did it happen?
So obviously it was the Vets Cup final. I'd only played a few games for him. Obviously with Higham as well. So obviously it's big club, reserves, first team Vets. Obviously old enough to play for the Vets. So I managed to play a few games before the final for him to get my appearances up. And then the gaffer said, we all met in the pub the night before. And he read out the team sheet and I was starting. And I was like, oh God, this is really awkward. You've got lads who have been there all year. And I've played 3 or 4 games and he's thrown me straight in and centre mid. And I was like, oh God. But anyway, we got there and you know what it's like. End of season, Wellingborough Town, the pitch gets absolutely battered through cup finals and it was dry as well. The pitch, I have to say, was nothing short of fucking shocking. And I remember in the warm-up thinking someone's going to get really hurt out here because the divots in the pitch were just like massive.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I'm thinking someone's going to get hurt out here. But anyway, so the game started, kicked off. It was about 10 minutes in. One of their players got the ball and I've literally just gone to I've run over to him. I've not gone to tackle him. I've just sort of gone to sort of shield or jockey him sort of thing, stand my ground, planted my right foot and then my knee just basically popped and almost like the bottom half went one way and the top half went the other. So it went like that. And it was like, oh, that don't feel good.
Does it hurt?
Oh, mate, I can't.
Agony or...
So you hear it and you feel it, but I think because you're under a lot of adrenaline at the time, you kind of initially, obviously, it hurts, and then sort of 2 minutes after I was down, and then sort of 2 minutes later, the coach, obviously, I'm getting treatment, and I'm like, okay, this is easing up a little bit here. So he goes, are you done? Are you done? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll be all right. Adrenaline was kicking in. So I walked off and then come back on. So I went back in. I think the goalkeeper took a goal kick. Literally, the ball's gone over my head. I've gone to turn round to run, and it's just gone again. And I was like, oh, God, something's not right here. Yeah. And then obviously, so I had to go off. And then by the time, so that was only in like the 15th minute of the game ish, which was gutting. But by the time the game had finished, presentation got changed and all that, it started to like really balloon up. And I remember I had my 2 oldest kids with me. And I remember saying, right, we've got to go. I went to get in the car and put my right foot down again and bang, it just went again. Oh, so I was like, ouch, something is not right here. And I remember ringing the missus on the way home going, I think I've really hurt myself here. So anyway, left it a couple of days. And obviously it swelled up and it weren't great. I didn't have a lot of movement in it. So I went over to Corby. She just looked at it and said, okay, I think you might have torn your meniscus or something like that. So there's not really much they can do when it's swollen up like that. So she gave me medication for it to come down and arrange for me to have an MRI. And then eventually we got that sorted. Took a while because of a few cock-ups of appointments, and then got called in to the hospital for the results. And that's when he said, do you know what you've done? And I said no. And he said, well, you've completely ruptured your ACL. You've torn your meniscus and you've fractured your kneecap, basically. And I was like, shit, like my heart sunk. Do you know what I mean? I was expecting like a meniscus tear and that'd be it. And that's when reality sunk in that I've done something here. I've gone 38 years, 39 years of playing football, and it's finally happened that something like this has happened. So yeah, pretty devastating news, really, especially at my age, because am I going to come back from this? I don't know. Yeah. I hope so, but it's a proper 50-50 at the moment, I think.
But like after you've done it, like, because obviously it's not like pros, they're going to go into surgery the following day. You're not. So like, does it just go down? And because you come away and play golf with it, like it was still
So with an ACL, once the swelling goes down and the pain goes, you will have pain, but nothing like when you first do it. So when you look into it, basically you've got two main ligaments or whatever, that tendons that go through your kneecap. I think you've got the MCL and the ACL. I think that's right. And then so basically the ACL snaps. So you've always got that fear that your knee's going to give way again. So from when I got sort of diagnosed with what I had to when I had the operation, so it gave way on me 3 times that night, and then it only did it once more before I had my op, and that was when I was putting my boots on at work. I went to try and take one of my boots off with my other boot. You know when you sort of flick down your heels, take it off, and I put all my weight on the bad leg, and it just went again. And I was like, oh my God. But I could live. I couldn't play sport. I couldn't run, but I could live a normal life. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're still working.
That's what I'm curious about. Is like
I could still work. I still went away with the boys and played golf. So the only way I could play football again or any sort of sport is if I had the surgery. If I didn't have the surgery, I could have lived a normal life, maybe with the fear that it would give way, but I could have lived a normal life without sport. But obviously I wanted to play sport, and obviously I've got young kids who are coming up and I want to be able to play football with them or coach them or something like that. So decided to have the operation, and that was absolutely brutal. It is brutal. I mean, there'll be lads listening to this who know what I'm talking about, who've been through it. It's not good at all. Nothing good about it.
So
when did you have the operation?
Let's go on.
Had the op on December the 2nd. So 6 months from when I actually did it, which it ain't too bad really from what I've heard. I've heard other people who, one of the guys I work with, his son did it, and he's out Leighton Buzzard way, and he was 18 months and still no operation. So he had to go private in the end and pay I think it was about 14 grand or something to have it done. So I was quite fortunate that it was within 6 months. December. So I think I'm 14 weeks tomorrow since I've had the operation. So it seems to have gone quite quick.
Physio and all that as well. Were you getting A lot of physio help?
Yeah. So tomorrow morning, I've got my ACL class at Isbrook in Wellingborough. So people with the same injury, we do like a circuit training class, and then obviously it's a delicate rehab. So you have to wait until you can hit certain milestones before you can move on. So, but obviously seeing the NHS physios are great. It's probably not enough, to be honest with you. So, so we see them. Obviously, I'm in the gym now doing some gym work, trying to build my leg back up, get it strong. But I'm also looking at going private with the physio as well to really measure progress and really push it. NHS is great. Everything's been free, but seeing someone every 2 to 3 weeks when every week matters isn't enough for me. So that's why, I've got to this stage now where I can get back in the gym, I can do stuff, but I want to be pushing myself. So, the guy who does the class tomorrow, he also does private work. So I will look at going with him because he's got special tools that will measure your strength and how far you're coming, but he'll also give me the exercises I need to progress quickly rather than doing 3 weeks of, squats and then next 3 weeks I'll do X. Do you know what I mean? So,
what is the timeline? What's the? Because I say pros is like 9 months, isn't it? 9 months from the.
Well, it's funny because before I did it, I'm sure, like anyone, when you hear ACL, you think of Premier League, you think 9 months.
Yeah,
that's when they come back. But what you've got to remember with a Premier League player is they'll have the surgery within 2 weeks probably. B, I don't know if you've seen it or you've heard of it, but the Madders, have you seen his documentary on his rehab for the same injury?
No.
The care and attention that Premier League footballers get, any footballers, like the rehab, the physio is unbelievable. There's no stone left unturned with them boys. You know what I mean? They get everything, the chambers, the leg break, everything you can think of, and they're back in 9 months. So little old me from Rushden, who's physioing once every 3 weeks and going to the gym, ain't going to do it in 9 months. Do you know what I mean?
What are you trying to say, Dan?
Basically, if I can be back sort of training by Christmas this year, then I think I'll be onto a winner. But I've said to the missus, if I get to the point where I feel like I'm ready to go back to football, but it doesn't feel right, then I'll have to call it a day. I cannot risk going through this again. Obviously, you've got your livelihood and stuff like that, and young kids. I don't want to go through this again. So if I'm not 100% confident when the time comes, then I'm not going to do it. But the earliest will be December.
It kind of makes you think, though, doesn't it? Because, like you said, and Dan said that with professional footballers or professional sports people, they get all that care and attention, and it's every day, it's every week.
Yeah,
it's kind of not really fair for the average guy like yourself that goes through this injury, but then has to wait weeks and weeks. I mean, like you said, you waited 6 months before you even had the operation.
Yeah.
So maybe you kind of sort of think maybe more needs to be done by the NHS to make it better for you, because you are a sports person anyway. So I mean, you might not be a professional sports person, but you are a sports person. You're a footballer. That needs that, that care. But then that's going to come an expense to the NHS anyway if it's more regular for you. So it is kind of sort of, I think it's kind of 50-50 really, isn't it? You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. But
I
think more needs to be done for the average person.
We're seeing more of them now because people just aren't built the same. They're not built the same as. I know, it's not like people are just weaker than they were 30 years ago. It is like people you just I can't, when I first started, not to go back to the old days, but when I first started playing, so we're talking 18 years ago. Never at our level of football,
No.
Never heard of an ACL injury. Like, or if you did,
No,
it was like
no.
one person. Like, I've spoken to like 5 or 6 players this year in our league who have done it. I know, Aaron, you follow the women's game, you see it loads. And I don't know if it's people are putting too much, like the women's one's a weird one, isn't it? We were going to do a topic on that, is why so many women footballers get the ACL, and is it actually that they're getting so faster and stronger than what their body can do?
Yeah.
Compared to what it is, I don't know, because I can imagine you've got to do some serious. I don't know how you snap your ACL, but
mate, it could be anything. Like that's the funny thing. It doesn't have to be playing sport, for example. So one of the guys at my work, he said he went skiing with someone, and they literally, I think they were either getting on the ski lift or getting off the ski lift, landed, bosh, gone, like that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, like obviously you don't really hear about it, but when you've had it and you've been through it and you start looking about it online, you actually realise actually there's quite a lot of people that are going through this. And then obviously you go on Instagram, your algorithms are full of recoveries from ACLs, and you think, oh shit, this is like, it's a big thing. And like you say, it is more common these days, but I think it's more common because of social media and we're aware of it. Without that, we wouldn't know. Like, 20 years ago, who would know if Barry down the road had done his ACL? But now we would, because he's on Instagram, Twitter. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm thinking of the amount of players we used to play with, Dan. Pat Goodridge, fucking knee brace on, like a massive knee brace.
Yeah.
Used to play football on a Saturday afternoon. But I just think, like, nowadays, you don't see people don't. I know you can't play through an ACL, but what I'm trying to get at is,
well, no, you can
differently now.
You can. That's the thing. Like, there was a lad who, because I live in Rushden, I sort of follow Diamonds a little bit now, and there was a lad who played for Diamonds, and he'd done his ACL, but he hadn't had it scanned or anything, and I think he actually played a couple more games on it, until he went and got it looked at. So he did it, and then played another couple of games through the pain barrier, and then he's had the op not too long ago as well. So it's, have people done it in the past and not bothered to go and really get it checked out? Who knows? But it's just incredible. Like when you go through it, and you see other people that are doing it, and you turn up at these classes, and you got Fred who's 60, and you got, like, I don't know, James down there who's like 18. The mix of people doing it is mad. It's I think more awareness of this injury and how to deal with it definitely needs to be a topic, because I found I'd done my ACL, I needed this, but what I didn't do was research before, so I basically, cut a long story short, I had 6 months with basically limited use of my right leg. Now, if I knew what I knew now, I'd go back and do it completely differently. So I've basically just used my left leg for 6 months and given up on my right leg. But nowadays they call it like prehab. So one of the biggest things about ACL is keeping like your quad, keeping your muscle up here. But when you don't use it, it just dies.
Yeah.
So basically my left leg is twice the size of my right leg now. And my right leg is pathetic. So that's why I've got a real hard, 12 months almost of really trying to build that muscle up, which is then supporting the knee. But in reality, if I'd known this, then I would have been continuously working on my leg to keep that muscle there, so I'm not chasing when I come out. And this is what I talk about, going back to educating people on, when I went and they said, you've done it, not one of them said to me, keep moving on that knee. Keep moving on that knee. Don't lose the muscle. Because within weeks, that muscle will just go. So you spent 37, 38 years building up muscle, and it's gone within a couple of weeks. It's
you could have done with that help from the doctors and that initially gave you the results of your MRI scan.
Yeah. So now I feel quite strongly about, people need to know basically what it's like and what to do beforehand, so they don't make the same mistake, that I've made.
And can you still use like weights machines to help build up the muscle?
Yeah, so I think
without damaging the knee.
Yeah, so again, it's just about managing your load. So yeah, I can. Yeah, basically, anything in the gym now, I can pretty much use. The killer is the leg curler. I mean, I'm predominantly right-footed, so it's my right leg is normally my strong leg. So I'll curl with my left leg, absolutely no problem at all. So that's realistically my weak leg, and then I'll go on the same with my supposedly strong leg, but with the op, and I'm shaking like a leaf. I can barely do it. It's just amazing how much how much strength you really do lose through it. But now we are in the gym doing that sort of stuff. It makes the rehab a little bit more enjoyable, if it is enjoyable, rather than just lying on the floor doing bridges and doing the plank for 30 seconds and stuff like that. When you're in the gym actually working, you actually feel like you're getting somewhere. So it's a long road ahead, but we'll get there. I'm determined to try.
And in terms of the football, you stop doing anything connected to football. You just concentrating on your rehab. You're not involved in, not around the lads, or you're not training, helping coaches or anything like that.
It's funny you say that. I'm still in the group chat. I still go down when I can. I went down. I mean, hopefully none of the lads that need to listen to this, but I went down on Saturday to watch the reserves because they're at home and it's just up the road from me. And I sort of got asked if I want to go into coaching. Okay. So do I want to, get on board the coaching side of it? So I've sort of hesitantly said yes, I do, because I watch the reserves are young lads, and I see some real good young lads out there on Saturday, and they played well. They beat Kettering 4-0. I mean, to be fair, Kettering were pretty crap, but they did what they needed to do, and they played some good. And I could see a lot of potential out there in some young lads. Going back to what we were talking about previously, they've coming from under 18s, or they're 16, 17 years old. I feel like I could get them into men's football a lot better, having been through it, if that makes sense. I feel like I could offer quite a lot doing it. So I think I said, we're training on Astro at the minute, but we'll soon move to grass, I think, in about a month's time. So I said, when we move on to the grass, I'll start coming up to training and just sort of having a closer look. But they know that I want to play again. So if I do manage to get back playing, then I'll probably go down sort of like the player coach. I'll just try and, nurture the young lads. That's realistic. That's going to be my level when I go back, if I can get back. But I'm fine with that. As long as I'm playing, I don't really care. Just want to play.
And so, you never know. You might find a sort of a new sort of energy when it comes to coaching that you'll like, and then
I hope so.
Hopefully carry on.
Yeah, I'm pretty
in the game, doesn't it?
Well, exactly that. I just love football. I could go down the park and watch, like a women's game, and it's football. I just like watching football. So I want to stay involved. The missus knows I want to stay involved. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
How would a few of them youngsters take to being pissed on in the shower? Where do they?
It's not that sort of club, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
I've introduced it in ours. There's generally some young, not the physical pissing, but like the thought that it could happen if they're in there with me. I love it. And like you see the genuine fear in their eyes of like, you are joking, right? And I'm like, no. If you're near me and I need to pee, like that's gonna,
mate. They've already said that if I do it, I've got to be DBS checked and all that. So straight away, I'm thinking, like I said before, back in the day, okay, but now I think I'm a little bit beyond pissing on a 16-year-old in the shower. So, and I'll probably get arrested for it.
That's how you build title-winning teams, mate. That's how you build. You've got to have that level of Yeah. Like even now, walking out the shower now, and if one of them sat like, I don't know, showering, and his arse is just there, just a little squeeze, just a little, you're right.
Well,
And just, but you see, even the bloke, they're like, you can tell they're like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm like, it's fine. No one's gonna sling one up you, right? You're absolutely fine.
Well, we was going to have a conversation, Dan, about you maybe coming over for me and helping me out, like experienced centre forward. But after that conversation, that's a no.
I definitely wouldn't know. There would be. It's taken me 4 or 5 years for the lads at Shanger to realise he's only joking. It's having a laugh. Where the first few years, but like I know we've got to wrap up, but that's quite. You talk about when I brought you Scott and Ryan in. Like no one at Shanger showered, and all of a sudden there's 4 lads who no one knows, by the way, because we've literally just turned up, and we're there whipping each other with towels. We're the old shower gel in the head just as someone comes out the shower, and they just couldn't get their head around it. They were just like, "What are these?" And then one by one, you get a couple of them come and join you. And you're like, "Come on, it's all right in here. Just come along."
But what I will say to it, Dan, sorry, is that youngsters of today.
You can say Twiz. You can say Twiz. The boys have been
youngsters of today are nothing like youngsters 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Not with. Yeah. It's hard to explain technology, computer games. Back in the day, as youngsters, we used to be out all the time. Now they just want to go home and play on computer games. They've got no life experience, I'm afraid, and that's just the reality of it. So when they hit that sort of scenario, they ain't got a clue.
They don't know.
Yeah. So it's just one of them things. Just how life has progressed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dressing rooms will soon be dead, won't it? Dressing rooms will soon be dead, mate.
What will be dead? Sorry.
Dressing rooms, they'll soon be dead,
mate. Yeah,
headphones on, no one talking, everyone.
Yeah. No one back to the pub after because they're not old enough to drink. So,
well, they don't drink and they don't like having a beer. Yeah.
Yeah. So but that's just the mentality these days, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah, and unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to wrap it up, Dan. So don't go away. We'll have a little chat off when we come off. But thanks for coming on. It's been great listening to your story and listening to your ACL story as well. So hopefully, what you've said tonight, when the episode comes out, will reach out to 1 or 2 people and hopefully help someone. In future recovery.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it hits 1 or 2 people who are going through the same thing, or they want to support, or they want to, benchmark or stuff like that, then just find me on Instagram, and I'm trying to do sort of updates on progress, and I happily talk to people. They can talk to me. It's good to share these things. So if anyone wants to reach out, going through a similar thing, then please do. I'll give you my Instagram name, and maybe you can post it on the. Underneath or whatever.
Dan knows it. Dan knows it. He'll share it with us. But before we go, just tell everybody what your Instagram account is so they know where to follow.
Yeah, so basically it's just at Dan Scott 877.
Lovely stuff. Give him a follow and see what he's doing. And if you're suffering from an ACL or any kind of injury like that, then drop him a shout and
definitely
he'll have a little chat with you.
Yeah.
But right, Max, Dan, that's it. We're going to say goodnight. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, good, mate. I'm good.
I'm just buzzing. We've got an hour. Dan's not brought up my nickname and didn't talk about a trip to Prague. So other than that, it sounds happy days. Good night.
Hang on. You said this was a 2-week contract, this week and next week. So we'll save it.
Yeah.
No, all the best down in recovery, mate. Good luck.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thanks,
and all the best.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as well. It's nice to chat football, especially as I'm not involved and stuff. But it sounded a bit like me. But it's nice to chat. So,
best North striker, mate. Best North striker around. So,
yeah, that's not quite true. But I appreciate it.
Dan, you're not helping the clickbait, mate. We'd get a lot of people all the time going, no, he's not.
Oh, mate, I'm just saving the backlash of people going, no.
All right, guys. Like I said, don't go away. Thanks everybody for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and obviously follow Dan on Instagram. And as Max said, Dan, good luck with the recovery, with the rest of your recovery. We'll be keeping in touch with it all in that. So, but look, thanks for everybody for watching. we'll be back in a little while, in a couple of
Next
weeks,
week, mate.
with another episode.
Next week.
See you all soon.
Next week.